Myself, Angira Gaurav Purohit, Department of Pharmaceutics, PE Societies, Modern College of Pharmacy, Nigdi, Pune 44. In this video, quick review and introduction of some techniques of microencapsulation is covered. Some microcapsules are formed of core material which is coated by a polymer or other material to form microcapsules. These are known as microcapsules because the size of the product will be in microns, and there will be a vehicle to form to cause microencapsulation. So, microencapsulation techniques will have a core material, coating material and vehicle. The core material can be solid or can be liquid. So, liquid can be a solution of active pharmaceutical ingredient, or it can be dispersion, or it can be emulsion of the active pharmaceutical ingredient. The advances in microencapsulation also helps to encapsulate gases. Coating material can be polymers, vaccines, resins, proteins or polysaccharides, and to cause microencapsulation, liquid manufacturing phase used can be aqueous or non-aqueous. The microencapsulation techniques are classified into three types. So, physical or physico-mechanical techniques, physico-chemical techniques and chemical techniques. So, example of physico-mechanical technique is air suspension, centrifugal extrusion, pan coating, spray drying and spray congealing, and vibrational nozzle. Physico-chemical methods are ionotropic gelation and coacervation. Chemical methods are solvent evaporation, polymerization, interfacial polymerization, in situ polymerization and matrix polymerization. Air suspension method. So, this is Worcester's method. Here the core material is fluidized by the nozzle of the fluidized bed processor. When it is being fluidized, simultaneously the coating material, either in solution or suspension, is also sprayed onto the core material. So, by fluidization, the coating material gets deposited onto the core, and thus such coated core is again flown down to the base of the fluidized bed processor. Again these are suspended and coated. So, many cycles are required to cause complete coating. Next is centrifugal multi-orifice equipment. So, here there will be a tube which is placed onto at the center of a turning table. So, from this tube the core material is introduced onto the table, which is in the rotation at high speed. So, due to this rotation, the core material is thrown to the periphery of the equipment. So, at the periphery of the equipment there are small perforations, and these perforations are covered by the coating material. So, when core material is aligned to these perforations and approaches the perforations, it gets coated by the coating material, and then it is further rigidized into the equipment. Other methods are spray drying and spray chilling, which is also known as spray congealing. These two methods are similar in a way that the coating material is sprayed over the core material, but the difference between two methods is in spray drying, the hot air is supplied to keep the coating material molten, whereas in spray chilling or spray congealing, cold air is supplied to cause rigidization of the coating material. So, if we study these two methods together side by side, then the energy applied in spray drying causes evaporation of the liquid manufacturing phase, whereas in spray chilling energy is removed and it causes solidification of the coating material. The equipment difference is in spray drying, feeding tubes are without heating, whereas in spray chilling, the feeding tubes are heated to prevent premature solidification of the coating material. The flow in chamber will be of hot air in spray drying to cause evaporation, whereas in spray chilling, cold air or liquid nitrogen is flowed into the chamber to cause solidification of the coating material. The particle size of the product obtained in spray drying is around 5 to 150 micrometer, whereas in spray chilling it is 20 to 200 micrometer. The dissolution mechanism is spray drying product are dissolution, whereas in spray chilling, diffusion, heating, lipase or bile salts. Particle morphology in spray drying is geometric particle with porous and irregular surface due to solvent evaporation, whereas in spray chilling, dense, spherical and smooth surface due to solidification of the core material. The carrier in spray drying is water soluble polymers. In spray chilling, waxes, fatty acids, water soluble polymers and water insoluble monomers can be used as coating material. The ingredients which can be coated or microencapsulated by spray drying are vitamins, flavors, etc., whereas in spray chilling, iron sulfate, vitamins, minerals, etc. Okay, process step in spray drying are dispersing or dissolving the active compound in aqueous solution, then atomization and dehydration, whereas in spray chilling, dispersion or dissolution of active compound in molten lipid mixture, then atomization and cooling. The percent load in spray drying is 5 to 50%, whereas in spray chilling it is 10 to 20%. Next method of microencapsulation is pan coating. The pan coating is the similar method or similar equipment which is used to cause coating of tablets. Here the solid particles greater than 600 micron size are generally considered for the effective coating and microencapsulation. It is used to prepare controlled release beads and microcapsules. Coating is applied as solution by atomization onto the core material, which is in constant rotation into the rotating pan, and usually warm air is used to cause evaporation of the liquid and solidification of the coat over the core. Thank you.